everybody, JJ here. Welcome back for another episode of Flipside Up with JJ. Today I am thrilled and honored to have on the show and introduce my good friend Indar Lange. Indar, welcome to the show.
Aloha. Aloha, everybody. How you guys all doing?
Well, hey man, yeah, definitely aloha, man. So thrilled to have you. For those of you that don't know Indar, guess where he's from? Where are you from? Tell us where you're from.
Born and raised in beautiful Hawaii. Since a little kid, I've been there all my life.
For those of you that don't know Indar, you should know this guy. He is extremely successful. I became aware of him about a year and a half ago, shortly after I started. He was introduced at a very, very large educational event and brought up on stage in front of 5,000 people. And I thought, wow. And I heard him speak and I thought, I'm impressed. And so, on my journey for me to become successful, I realized, as they say, you are the result of the 5 people you hang out with the most. So I network and I go to meet people that are killing it so that I can learn and so I can hopefully have some mojo from someone like him rub off on me. So with that, before we talk about more of that stuff, tell us about your journey. Tell us how you started. Tell us how you got to where you are.
A lot of hard work, that's for sure. I started flipping in Hawaii. I started flipping when, it wasn't a big deal. Not many people were doing it big in Hawaii. No one was really ramping it up like, 20, 30 flips. We have 15 going right now, actually. And to me, somebody was going to do it. Somebody was going to figure it out. And that's just always been my mentality. Somebody is going to do it. I'll look at a deal, won't do it. That's $0. You do it, you make $40,000 to $100,000.
So as you started with your journey, what led into becoming an investor?
Real estate's always in the back of my mind and always been. And I have a degree in electrical engineering, which is great. And I can maybe make $100,000, $200,000, which is awesome. And all the people out there, that's really good money. But to me, I wanted more. I wanted the millions after, my name of what I'm going to create wealth-wise. I started following all these other successful people, and they either did real estate to get there, or they're doing real estate now as part of their wealth, and these millionaires. And I'm a member of a private club back home where there's a bunch of millionaires around, successful people, and real estate's just always part of their portfolio. I think that's what led me into the flipping, rentals. We do everything in real estate. And a lot of people out there like to just say one aspect is better than the other. I believe not. I believe in real estate, just every avenue from flipping to rentals to multifamily, all those avenues are great avenues. And I like to kind of, dabble in all of them or do them all, really.
Fantastic. So, as you started this out, you weren't in real estate when you first got this going. Yeah. Tell me about your first project and what led to get that ball rolling.
I was working for my dad's company. I had a contractor's license working for that. Prior to that, worked for an engineering firm, doing a little bit of different work, of course. We went to the bank and we've seen what the bank would give me. The bank at the time would only give us, $240,000 what the bank would lend. I just took that money, whatever I can find, and I started using that. We bought our own place. We bought this small little condo, maybe this size of this room right here. It was like 600 square feet. And me and my wife, the girlfriend at the time, we moved in there. She helped me out. We loved that place. I put my hard-earned just work and energy into that place, painting it and doing new flooring and tiling the kitchen and doing it all. And we lived there for 2 years. And after 2 years, we didn't have to pay any taxes, no capital gains. So we sold it. We made $90,000, and then we took that $90,000 and instead of buying another place, we actually went and rented for another year. Took that 90, and this is start when we got into the Fortune Builder program, and we kind of all just rolled it from there and took that 90 and started flipping, looking for flips. And our first deal was actually a wholesale deal, and that was really disheartening. I was signed up for this program, Fortune Builders, 8 months in, and I'm working hard, and I didn't get it anything. I had a deal 2 days from closing, and it fell through. And it was so disheartening that when that happened. But I remember sitting there thinking, well, I just learned a ton of information just going through escrow, going through J1, learning all of those processes. The the world of real estate was really just growing and learning right then and there. And instead of being sad about it all, we just moved on, went and found a new deal. We found a great deal. And our first real flip, we bought for $700,000, and we sold at $1,028,000 was what we sold for. And
Wow.
I was scared. I mean, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. $700,000 for a house.
So let me ask you, are you in this business by yourself, or are you with family?
No, yeah, it's me and my wife. We're partners. She's kind of the behind the scenes, everything. She runs everything. She does a really good job behind the scenes and takes care of family as well. Yeah, so it's just me and her. And then we have our project managers. We have my father-in-law. Her dad is our project manager, one of them, and we have two other project managers that really help out a lot to where we're at today. We've done over, I think we're almost on our, 48th flip or so. We've done 15, I say, going, give or take. I don't know. I just got one today. I think we have one yesterday. We got a wholesale, so somewhere in there.
Wow.
I kind of round that number. We are holding about, I think we're about 18 million we have in holdings of property. Current, what we purchased them at, they're probably worth 22 to 23 million.
Very impressive.
So my biggest flip, we've just got on the market about a couple months now. We bought that at 1.8 million. Rehab's at 650,000 was a rehab, and we're selling at 3.5 million.
Wow.
Hopefully get that thing sold soon. That's a big one. I don't recommend to do those big ones. Really recommend to stay in the smaller ones if you can. You know, a deal's a deal, and again, somebody's going to do it and somebody's going to figure it out.
And then of course you've got the experience to have gone up to the higher levels.
Yeah.
He didn't start at that level.
No. I think one big thing that helped me grow up into these bigger projects is I would take on projects that were really challenging. I remember we had a house once that no one wanted, and it was held up by these metal beams and just barely ready to fall. And everyone said, it's a tear down, you can't do it. And it probably was, but we figured it out. We jacked up the house with jacks and put new running support beams underneath and figured it out. And when you take on those kind of hard projects, it was a small house, it was a little tiny house. But when you take on those hard projects like that, it just makes everything else easy.
So, Indar, let me ask you, what about marketing? Do you do anything in particular for marketing? Bandit signs, mailers?
Yeah.
What's your suggestion maybe for the new investor on marketing? And what's been your success for marketing?
Well, I'm in Hawaii, so we're in definitely, our own niche market out there. And I hear a lot of mainland people talk about, focus on one market, one marketing strategies. For us, we found we have to kind of do it all, and you have to kind of touch every aspect of it all. So me and my wife, we would drive and hang up bandit signs and create routes. Started just looking for deals on the MLS, and I started blasting the MLS. There's a saying I say is every 22 offers gets a deal, and so we'll submit just a ton of offers, and then you'll find a deal. Of course, cold calling and those sorts of things, and list sources, and all of those marketing campaigns are awesome campaigns, as well as online auctions, and the courtroom step auctions are a huge place to find deals as well. And I think I'm always dabbling in every avenue, and even networking, meeting with other investors. I mean, we've had deals 6 months later show up in our steps because we wrote the offer. So much people out there want to do it and want to flip, but they're not writing the offers. And I think once you start getting your offers out there, deals start to happen. 0 offers equals 0 deals. It's kind of simple math to think about. We just got a deal actually, 3 or 4 days ago, and it was a killer price, but then I didn't look at the house until we got it accepted. Go and look at the house, and it's going to be a lot more work than we thought. So we'll just try and knock it down. We're going to ask for a $40,000 credit on this deal, and then the numbers will work. And if not, we cancel the deal and we move on. So, you're not going to be able to get deals if you're not getting out there in the community and writing offers, getting to know real estate agents to send you offers.
Now, you mentioned a J1. What is that?
In Hawaii, we have a J1 inspection period. So you write on your contract how many days you have an inspection. So we have a 14-day inspection period, where after that time, then you're kind of really committed to the deal. So in that 14-day inspection period, you can pull in your contractors, you can do all your different inspections you wanted to do, and then ask for a credit. Always ask for a credit. Ninja tip there, always ask for a credit. Even if they say no credits, always ask. Always be asking for a credit, because what's the worst they're going to say? No. So what? If you weren't going to ask anyway.
Exactly, and that's your ninja tip. Always ask for the credit. Always ask for the credit.
Extra couple $100 or great. We had a $40,000 credit on one deal. So you never know until you ask and put in there. You don't know the situation of that seller. And a lot of times the realtors will, on the other end, they've laughed at me, they've told me, and they come back and say, oh, you're right, we'll take the credit. Like, they don't know the situation of that distressed homeowner. You never know, only they know.
Let me ask you about JV opportunities. You started at one point, you were new, and now you're very successful. Yeah. And I know as a new mastery student, speaking for myself, I've developed the philosophy that it's wise to JV with an experienced mastery student, because then you can minimize your mistakes from someone else's experience. So they can provide that leadership, and if not, expose that new mastery student to possibly their next private money lender, or their first private money lender. How have JV deals played in line with maybe people helping you, or are you helping other people, or how have they woven into your success or your journey?
JV is such a good thing to have in the back of your pocket, especially even later on as you get better at flipping. Say, for example, you find a killer deal, but you can't find that gap funding, you can't find that money. You could possibly just JV it with another. I would recommend to do it an expert flipper, somebody who's flipped a lot, JV with them instead of wholesaling it, because then you can make half. You can split the deal and make half. For example, on our first deal that we found, I was nervous. I was buying a $700,000 house. I was super nervous, didn't know if it was a deal. I kept on asking everybody, and everyone's telling me it's a deal, but I was still scared. And so at the time, I brought in a partner. I presented to him. He was specialized at hard money and getting funds. At the time, hard money lenders wouldn't lend to you unless you had a deal under your belt. This is 6 years ago. So hard money lenders were a little different back then. They wouldn't lend to you unless you had a deal under your belt. And so I brought in a partner. We made a JV agreement. I used his deals that he's done before. He was, advanced, and we were able to get lending and funding and throughout the deals, and just having that security of having somebody who knew the business and knew what to do really just gave it an ease for me. And still today, we JV on deals. If somebody brings me a deal, for example, they want me to look at or partner with, I'll partner with them and we'll do the deal.
So, Indar, obviously, in taking on projects, whether they be small or big, the big key thing is getting the funding, getting the money. And the bigger the project, the more difficult it is to get those funds. Tell me a little bit about your experience with acquiring GAP.
So I think that's actually my full-time job, is finding funds, finding money, finding deals. And finding funds has been really an avenue that I just been steamballing and just getting better and better at learning and growing, from working with banks to get lines of credit to getting JV partners to even bringing private money involved. So I have a lot of great, awesome private money lenders out there, and I really appreciate them so much. So like, I'll bring them in and show them my deal, show how I work. I really try and just keep them involved and just showing the process. And because I value them, and I value,
of course,
their hard-earned money or home HELOC, whatever it may be, is being invested with me. So I really want to get back as much as I can, more than just profit and funds and so forth. So finding funds other than private money out there, there's lines of credit with the banks. All you investors out there who need funds, or even anyone who doesn't even own their own house right now, you can easily go get a line of credit. Here's a little trick to do, is find a local bank, a small little bank somewhere in your town or city that you can kind of build a relationship with. They have lines of credit. They'll have a $50,000 or $70,000 line of credit, and you don't go and ask for the $50,000. You just ask for the $20,000 line of credit. They'll give you all the paperwork to fill out. It's really simple. You just fill out the paperwork. It's not much involved. And once you get the $20,000 line of credit, then you can use that to ask for more later. But the 20 is just your foot in the door. And you could do that maybe 2 or 3 banks. And now you have this $20,000 line of credit. You can go buy your own personal place and use that as your gap, or you can use that as your gap to to do a flip.
Brilliant.
The cool thing about a line of credit is you don't get hit until you use it. So you don't pay any interest or anything until you actually use it. So it's great just to have sitting, available. So when you actually want to use it. There's other places out there, especially when you start hearing guys talking to you about factor rates and some of those kind of things. You kind of want to stay away from those guys because those are really expensive lines, but they're available if you need. So I'm always just researching and learning for the different types of loans the banks have, from conventional to portfolio loans, commercial loans, and stuff like that, refinancing. And of course, HELOCing your own house. It's a great line to get set up, and everyone who owns a house out there, just to set up a HELOC and to have that available. So when you really want to use it, it's there. If you don't use it, it's just there. You're not charged until you use it.
For the new investor, maybe touch on what a HELOC is.
Oh, a HELOC is anyone who owns their own personal house out there. You can get a home equity line of credit on your house. So if your house is worth, $500,000, you can go to the bank and you can get up to, some banks, 80% of their value of the home. So you can either use that whole thing to pay off your existing loan and keep the rest, or B, you can just take out, 100,000 or whatever you may be in the value, and the difference of what you owned on the mortgage to what your home is valued at, you can take out a line too. There's different ways you can strategize and make that work, but that's, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, that was a great influencing book for me back in the day. The concept of just making your money work for you is still into my head today. Always constantly making your money work and roll. Being rentals, being flipping, being a private money lender. Your concept is you're making a return on your investment. You're making a return on your money you're putting out there.
Indar, I'm blown away with the wealth of knowledge that you bring to us today. I would love to have you back again on another show.
Yeah.
I know, coming from Hawaii, it's not easy to get here, but I'll send a helicopter for you if we need to.
I'll be right on over.
Fantastic, man. Well, again, thank you so much, and we look forward to having you back.
Yes, thank you.
Great. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
On behalf of the team at Beechwood Home Solutions, we'd like to thank you for watching this episode of Flipside Up with JJ. Remember, your network is your net worth. It's not who you know, but who knows you. So when it comes to building your business, the time is now. Stay tuned for more episodes of Flipside Up with JJ.